I am really excited to welcome Andrew. Andrew is our regional VP for ASEAN and ANZ. Andrew, welcome to the show.
G'day, Gabe. Thanks for having me. Our customers are asking for a single connected automation platform that integrates AI. And if you think about it, generative AI, it's going to unlock new business opportunities for all of us. It's already a great opportunity for generating content, for summarization of data, for extracting information, and it's really exciting what the future looks like for the generation of code. But when you think about our customers, when you combine intelligent automation and AI, it's going to be really powerful. We're going to be able to drive up productivity. We can fuel the future of innovation, and that's going to provide new growth opportunities for all of us. So, yeah, I think I'm really excited about what we're doing with generative AI, and I think we've all got wonderful opportunities that we're going to be able to tap into.
Well, I think too, like it just reinforces, right? And this is something we talk about all the time, but traditional automation, RPA is dead, long live intelligent automation, right? But this idea of the average enterprise has 15,000 different systems that you need to glue together, and some of them are legacy systems, and you can't replace them or displace them necessarily, but you need all these things, and that was sort of the one of the main value propositions, right? But now with generative AI, to your point, it's opening up an entire new world of use cases. Just quick side note, just for me, like I said, I'm not a technologist, I'm not a developer, but
Yeah.
we were able to leverage automation and the automation, A360 and the automation success platform to build an intelligent automation, leveraging generative AI, ChatGPT, to localize content and do it at a clip that is 10x the speed of the previous sort of process that we had. And they've ultimately, I mean, it could be up to $1 million, and that's just me, just little old me, right? But more than that, it actually, the thing that really got me excited about this when I was thinking through sort of this problem statement with my colleague was, our mission is to empower every human on Earth with technology so that they can, be a part of the future of work and contribute to making, the world a better place, making their lives better. They can't do that if they can't understand the training material or the various assets that are out there and resources, because it's not in their language, it's not localized. So I got really excited about that. So sort of had this twofold impact that it's just starting to come to fruition. But to your point earlier, there's so many new use cases and opportunities that are traditional like that, but then there's so many things to think about, either just even bigger, that I haven't even considered.
Yeah, well, consider this, congratulations on your own use case. But if you think about the use cases, generative AI and intelligent automation together, I think you touched on virtual assistants, great opportunities there. There's tremendous opportunities throughout customer service with intelligent document processing in the predictive analytics space. I even think about the predictive maintenance space, because I live in Australia and we're a resource-rich country with a lot of mining, oil and gas. Supply chain optimization represents big opportunities, as does risk management. And if you kind of break that down and you think about a couple of individual use cases, a lot of customers have a contact center. And if you think about our contact centers on its own, intelligent automation is heavily used in a contact center to enable faster integration across back-end systems, which ultimately drive down average handle times. When you think about introducing generative AI into a contact center, that's going to further save contact center processing costs through faster handling of customer complaints through to whatever they're processing. the power is when you combine the two together, you're driving up the overall end-to-end experience. You're making it more intuitive and efficient for customers. You're increasing satisfaction, but at the same time, you're reducing those average handle times. And instead of, automation on its own, maybe providing a 10% saving, and Gen AI on its own providing a further 20%, combining the two might improve average handle times by 50%. And I think that's really powerful. I also think about the big banks and the lending processes, because we all go through these rigorous processes around everything from whether we're getting new credit cards, mortgages, whatever loans we're applying for. There's a significant process in the back end around document automation. And again, intelligent automation or document automation on its own, there's great productivity savings to be gained. And you can gain about 10% savings, structured, semi-structured, the future of unstructured workflow with approvals. When you think about generative AI in that space, generative AI can be used to assess credit scores and overall credit worthiness of people to get those loans and credit cards. But the power is when you combine the two and you think about the lending process in a bank, there's a potential to drive 70% productivity improvements, reducing errors, faster lending, and overall improving the access for all of us, whether it's individuals or companies, to get access to loans. And I don't know
And to
whether the
be and
excitement comes
contribute
through
to
on my but
economy.
there's so much to think about.
There really is, and I think there's I think there's two angles, like in the banking and loan side. For instance, one is the pressures on them for their margins in these, as you mentioned before, sort of these dynamic, macroeconomic situations, whether it's coming out of COVID, going to COVID, we're dealing with COVID, coming out of COVID, election years, anything you can think of, right? How do you build resiliency through that? And then you have industries where buyer behaviors are changing. So like in banking, I think about like my kids, right? My kids are teenagers. They don't care about banking per se, right? There's a whole unbanked generation out there. There's new modes of managing funds, whether it's payment apps or what have you. So there's this new world of competitiveness, and I think it demands rethinking some of these things from the established players, if you will, to gain or regain the competitive advantage from, say, their infrastructure, what have you. Because margins are getting squeezed. The market is, you have this sort of new generation that isn't is ingrained with the old ways anymore, and looking for something new. So to me, and I've said this before, to me, I feel like the power of intelligent automation combined with generative AI and AI more broadly, for those companies that are leveraging the power of it, that are scaling broadly, it's a competitive advantage.
Absolutely.
By the way, with regards to the customer service and the contact center stuff, my internet went out the other day. Somebody cut the fiber line. It was like a whole thing, like the whole valley went out. But nonetheless, can I just tell you how long I was on with customer care for like 2 days straight, trying to get like a 26 KB connection. It was crazy, and having to restart over and over and over again. But yeah, enough about my personal problems. But
yeah, we've all got wonderful or painful stories to share in that space.
We've already got many use cases in flight. If you go to our YouTube channel and many of our other resources, you can see automations that we've built using generative AI, using Automation Copilot, to specifically in the contact center space, that are doing real world work, helping real world people you know, save time and help customers more quickly. Um, so, these things are happening, as I mentioned, from the data. Um, those investments and that deployment is a much higher level, much higher, uh, per, more prolific than I even would have thought. So we talked about sort of the a lot of the impressive numbers and big things that people want to do with intelligent automation and AI in particular. But
Mm,
also a number that jumped out, and this might not be a surprise to anybody, but um, I think it was around 70% of respondents also iterated that security and data privacy are huge concerns and potentially could be the main blocker or are the main
yeah.
blocker for deployment. Um, Talk to me a little bit about the conversations you're having with customers as they're exploring intelligent automation, Gen AI, et cetera.
Yeah, well, there's a few points there, Gabe, and I'm glad you raised security. We're seeing security's always been a hot topic. If you put Southeast Asia aside for a second and you think about Australia, in Australia, we've had some really high profile data breaches just in the last 12 months. Medibank, one of the big health insurers, they had a significant data breach, and they actually received a fine from APRA for 250 million. We've seen Optus, one of our largest telcos in region, again with a significant loss of data and data breach. And off the back of that, we've seen a lot of our customers in region have a renewed focus on infosec reviews, and they're really interested in everything from what does the cloud platform look like to what's our strategy around in-region disaster recovery, in-region backup. It's quite a common topic. And the great thing is one of the benefits of Automation A360 and our automation success platform is that we provide a really strong governance framework. We are open and we do have a really strong integration story with everyone, but capabilities like our COE manager, they're already IRAP certified in region. And so they've already gone through the rigorous security reviews. And then our A360 platform itself, it's built on the global ISO standards. And when our customers do go and do the InfoSec reviews, they're always really impressed by the architecture that we've put in place with our overall automation platform. But it is a hot topic that continues to come up.
And I think too in the report, it was interesting that while it's the main barrier, of course, what I gathered from some of the other responses is every day we see new models, industry specific models, functionally specific models, whether it's some form of document automation and IDP for healthcare. So it's got certain parameters built in to protect, um, PII, patient, data, or whatever it might be. Whether it's financial data and protecting that, as these continue to evolve and come to market, my sense is from the report and from the data is that the decision makers are bullish on the fact that they'll feel safe and feel good about leveraging the tech. But I think the beauty of that and knowing that is that being an open platform and being able to being sort of model agnostic, if you will, from the automation 360 side, you can choose your weapon, right? You can choose your
Yeah,
model
yeah.
to deploy, and you can do it by function, and you can do it by enterprise wide, et cetera. So I think that freedom to choose is going to be super important based on what we've seen in the data.
Yeah, and just to build on that, what I love is we're heterogeneous. We integrate with across the stack. When you just look at our technology partnerships, we've got 170 technology partnerships today, and we have a really strong intelligent automation story across Microsoft, Genesis, Workday, Salesforce, ServiceNow. The list goes on. It's really good to see our approach from a heterogeneous point of view, and then with large language models, again, we're open. So we integrate with all large language models. We've got a strong story ready to go right now on Microsoft with OpenAI, with both AWS and with GCP, with Vertex and Bedrock. So it's a really strong, open story that we've got ready to go for our customers to leverage.
And I think too, it's important to realize or reinforce the difference in sort of like, there's a lot of open platforms out there, but we have strategic partnerships with AWS, with Google Cloud. We're building together, and doing things that are potentially more comprehensive to make it easier for you, the customer, to leverage the power of automation and generative AI, right? Or AI specifically. So it's really exciting. And also, by the way, Imagine is coming up. Imagine Austin here in the US in September.
Good on you for getting a plug in. What are the dates?
Yeah. I'm the king of shameless plugs. So for those of you new to the show, I haven't quite figured out how to get ad revenue yet. So I have to do my own advertising. It's a bit like old school TV maybe or something, but no. But the product announcements forthcoming, around this are significant and exciting. And continuation of what you saw at the generative AI day, where we made some, the automation copilot for business users, and automation copilot for automators powered by Gen AI.
Yeah. Hey, Gabe, can I get you off track and do my own plug? So no doubt Imagine's going to be great in Texas, and really good for our customers in the Americas. For any of our customers traveling in region, we would love to see you there. But the very week before Imagine, we're doing a significant investment with Gartner Symposium up on the Gold Coast. And there's a lot that we will be able to share. I think the dates are the 11th through to the 13th of September. And a lot of what we're going to share the week after in Imagine, we're probably going to be well placed to have those discussions up on the Gold Coast as well. So there's my own plug back at you.
I like it. I haven't. I'm gonna go check the mailbox and see if my invite is there. I haven't seen it yet. Probably, mail slow maybe from Australia.
It's real time, my friend. Real time. We'll see you there.
Yeah, I would love nothing more to bot between there and then Imagine. That would be the life. But no, we'll look forward to that as well. And for those of you in region that are going to the Gartner Symposium, highly recommend. You'll probably, no doubt, you will see more information on the event. And if you are attending the symposium, I know that Andrew would welcome you to have a conversation in person, and demos, and all the goodness that you could ask for. So do take advantage of that. There's been a few folks that have raised their hand to ask questions. It looked like maybe they got dropped. I don't know if it was a connectivity issue or it's just because I'm not good at keyboard jockeying here, but I apologize if I wasn't able to click on you. But if you do have a question, again, happy to invite you to join the show really quick to ask your question. You can also add comments in the event page itself, and we'll get to those when we can. So we've gone at length about productivity in AI and the imperative there, and how AI is key to the success of addressing these things. But again, to me, the real thing is, or I shouldn't say the real thing, but one of the most important things, the underlying pieces of all of this, is being able to scale. And being able to scale is going to require that business users can leverage intelligent automation, right? And build function specific automations for themselves, like the one I mentioned. And in that case, then you have the because there's enterprises, right? Obviously, I mean, we're technically a small company, really, right? We've got a few thousand people. I mean, pick a company, your typical enterprise is 50,000, 100,000 employees, maybe more, maybe 200 or 300,000, right?
Yeah.
Imagine to empower a third of them, if not more, to build and deploy, or at minimum leverage the power of automation.
Yeah, so I just want to jump in on your point on scalability. I was really pleased to read about it in the report. It's a really important customers. It comes up a lot. And, if you come back to what we talked about initially with productivity, we've all got to become more productive. We've got a productivity crisis. The working age population is declining. Each of us are going to have to be more productive. If you think about how do we achieve our GDP targets, the only way we're going to be able to achieve it is by becoming more productive. And if you think about productivity, part of being more productive is how do we scale? And when I think about the future of scaling businesses, scaling is often about transformation, and transformation requires automation at scale. And automation at scale requires development at scale. And that's where a lot of investment's got to go into, is the how do we do the development at scale. The powerful thing is business users who understand business objectives, they're the key to the future of being able to automate at scale. And they're the people that we want to be the future of our developers and the future of citizen development. And I think there's a great opportunity through what we're doing with citizen development to help our customers achieve the scalability that they require. So it was really good to read all the commentary in the Now and Next report on the need for scalability.
I think I think it's fascinating, right? I'm obviously a people guy, but and I'm not a technologist, so being able to do what I've done thus far has been really, really great. I can't wait to be able to just say, "Hey, I need an automation for X," and it just sort of builds it. Like, that'll be super cool for me. But with regards to the scalability, without regards to business users being able to develop or quote unquote citizen developers, automations and whatnot. You mentioned something earlier about a customer who has had amazing success, and yet, and I'm exaggerating, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
So there's all sort of a cultural. So we're talking about kind of the platform and the tech, but we haven't really touched much on the cultural side of it. What the other piece of being able to scale and realize the impact and meet these goals, there's going to be a cultural shift, right? And I know my good friend and my co-host, who's usually on these shows with us, Micah Smith and Kristen Engelhart from the
Yeah.
community Pathfinder community, are over there right now as well, and that represents a bit of a cultural shift as well, right?
Yeah, look, Kristen and Micah do a great thing because they're leading a program that we've put in place globally, which is what we call Pathfinder. And Pathfinder, at its core, is about how do we help our customers scale with the adoption of automation. And they go and look in detail at all of the things that I touched on at the front around the automation program itself: people, pipeline, production, promotion, and engagement. They do a really good job of it. But coming back to your point on cultural change, if you come back to what are Kristen and Micah, what do they share with our customers? The thing that I always hear Micah talk about is three key things, which is, and he kind of calls them his big tips, but it's all about, if you think about how you're building out your intelligent automation program and combining that with generative AI, it starts with having a C-level executive sponsor. And so we always provide advice that you need that. you've got to combine both business and IT. You can't run the program in isolation. It's got to be across lines of business. Combining business and IT is key. The importance of setting KPIs where you actually align automation goals with transformation objectives is powerful. And so starting there is key. Kristen and Micah always spend a lot of time talking about scale. And, scale starts with the cloud, but citizen development also plays a really key role. What you do to build the future of your pipeline is key, and the concept of crowdsourcing ideas is an interesting space, and how you incent people to upskill themselves to become the future of the developers, that's a key thing to think about. And then when you think about transformation itself and transforming our enterprise, we're all going to be able to find generative AI opportunities in the automation platform. I think where we combine employee engagement and customer experience, we're going to be really well placed. But I'm actually joining Kristen and Micah directly after this LinkedIn
Well, tell
group lunch.
them to say hello. Give them a big hug for me.
Yeah, I will.
But just going back to the 3 points you mentioned, Micah, as smart as he is, and I trust him implicitly. But by the way, 1,000 other respondents to this survey basically validated those things, right? This, as I mentioned before, this involvement at the C-level now, on the buying decision, for instance, and influencing this. I mean, this is a priority. So they're involved. So you're gonna, if you haven't already, find that sponsor, right? That executive sponsor. The alignment with business goals, and the partnership between business IT, all illustrated in various data and responses in the survey. That if you go to the comment section, you can click that reserve your copy link. Shameless plug alert. I need a little sound effect or something for when I do the shameless plugs.
Next time I'll bring my bell. I'll ring my bell every time you do it.
There you go. But all of those things validated by, like I said, 1,000 respondents who are global business leaders, IT, C-suite, etc. So really interesting, and it's great to see it put into practice. It's great that we have that function and that team out there helping folks, helping our customers and partners understand some of these best practices, and get them to fast track by leveraging the domain knowledge and experience we've already generated over the last 20 years, basically, right? I think also, by the way, I know we're getting close to time here, but I think we should do this again. You brought up something around the reskilling. We started talking a little bit about the culture piece, but I think this idea of culture in reskilling is obviously monumental. If you look at any headline, obviously there's a ton of FUD in the headlines because that's what gets clicks. And certainly, yes, there will be jobs that will be completed by intelligent automation or AI, that no longer require sort of a human to do. But net, there's going to be an entirely new industry for us, right? To apply these tools. So for us, it's it's about, I always say, I want to stand on the shoulders of the technology so I can elevate and do and get higher, right? So I'd love to explore more the reskilling side, specifically in the region, what's happening there. As well as some of these other things that we didn't quite get to, but
I would love that opportunity, Gabe. I think talking about cultural change and what we're seeing across the region, that'd be a great topic. Because if you think about it, at the end of the day, the work that we all do, it's going to change, and it's either some of the work that we do is going to be automated, some of the work that we do will be augmented, but ultimately, at the end of the day, a lot of new work's going to be created for all of us. And, when we combine digital workers with what we've got with human capacity, I think we're really well placed to make that change and become more productive in time.
I think it's I think, you know, I'm a unapologetic optimist, specifically because I work for Automation Anywhere and get to see the sort of inner workings in many ways, and see the people that are doing the work, yourself, many of our colleagues. I'm so inspired and bullish on, you know, what we're going to be able to do to help people reach their goals, and companies reach their goals. But see what people are doing now, see what companies are doing now by downloading the report. As I said, you can reserve a copy now with the link in the comment section. We will email you the report on the 8th, maybe even a little bit earlier. We'll see. You know, but you'll be amongst the first to get it. So get your spot in line now. And dive into the data. We'll come back. I'll try to talk Andrew into joining me again. He's probably tired of hearing me talk already, but maybe we can get some other guests in here as well for you and for the market. And I'm really interested, especially on the cultural part, as we think about, you know, we kind of joked, I'm in California, I'm a California boy. Fortunately, I have been able to travel the world a little bit, so that's good. But I would love to look at the differences from a cultural perspective and what works for transformation across the region. You've got a diverse region there too, right? Compared to maybe some of the other regions. So I think that's a really interesting topic. And then, you know, the reskilling thing, obviously there's a lot going on that we mentioned the Pathfinder community. There's many more motions and many more resources that we're investing in and support to help with this entire transformation. Digital, but just transformation of what we do, how people live for the better, right? And so maybe we can dive into that.
Yeah, love to. And maybe next time we can have a customer or a couple of partners join the discussion. I think that would certainly make it interesting.
Yeah, if you guys are out there in the audience, we see you. Don't be surprised if we come knocking. So, Andrew, it was really a pleasure. Thank you for doing this, and thank you everyone for joining. We hope you enjoyed it. You know, feel free to comment again in the event page, or reach out to me and DM me on LinkedIn. I'm sure Andrew's available as well if you have any specific questions. But you know, this is an exploration of a truly transformative time, one that even I've not seen, as old as I am. So it's exciting. It's thrilling. You know, we have a ton of insights. We've got a ton of really smart people, and more importantly, really kind and generous people here at your disposal. So don't hesitate to reach out. Until next time, Andrew, again, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you making this time. And we'll see you soon, huh?
Yeah, thank you, Gabe. It's been a blast. Look forward to talking soon. And thank you to all of our customers and partners that joined live.
All right. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you soon. Until then, go be great.